The US interview system is so flawed. It is designed to make you fail. It is designed to fail you. And this is the reason why most of your application gets rejected. No matter how many times you reapply, it gets rejected compared to other countries like the United Kingdom or Canada or other countries that use the document-based system. The United States don't ask for document submission. They only care about one-on-one interview. And trust me, there is no way on earth that somebody will be able to assess you in 1 or 2 minutes. It will never give the real impression about you. Even though the first impression means a lot, but sometimes you might not just be prepared. It could be the fact that you're just so scared and you couldn't articulate well. But the US interview system is based on that fact. And this is the reason why I feel it is flawed. This is the reason why I feel it is designed to make you fail. Apart from this, there's a section of the United States immigration law that is called the section 214B. It states that anybody coming to the United States have immigrant intent. What does this mean? What it means is this: they don't trust you enough that you will go back to your country if they give you their visa. So until you're able to prove that you deserve that visa and that you'll be coming back to your country, else you're not going to get the visa. So these are some of the reasons why I feel the interview process is flawed. Secondly, according to the United States law, they cannot give more than 657,000 immigrant visas in a year. Note, immigrant visa. So which means they're only going to give about 657,000 thereabouts visas for people that are planning to immigrate, like legally immigrate to their country. They also know that most people that are getting the non-immigrant visas also have immigrant intent, which means they might not leave. So that way, they make sure they reject a lot of people so that to avoid a lot of people from illegally migrating to their country. So even though this might feel like it makes sense, it ends up creating this kind of chaos in such a way that people that don't have immigrant intent, people that are just regular people that just want to visit the country and come back, they end up denying them. Why people that are perfected lies, for example, ends up getting that visa. So I feel it's not just fair. Most of the time, the reason for the rejection is never your fault. Trust me, I've interviewed a lot of people. I've done application for hundreds and hundreds of people. So I understand the process very well. It's not because you didn't do well. It's not because you didn't speak well. The system is just designed to fail you. So now, in order to be able to pass this interview, you have to factor in a lot of things. Number one, you have to ensure that your application is top-notch. Make sure you're not just generic in your response or in your reply. Make sure your application is very detailed. Two, also understand the fact that communication is key when it comes to this interview process, because compared to other countries where they don't do interview, in the US, you have to do a one-on-one interview, and the interview is usually less than 2 minutes if you're lucky, some maximum 3 minutes. And there is no way on earth that somebody will be able to assess you in 1 minute or in 2 minutes. So this is one of the reasons why the interview process is so flawed. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I have done this process for a lot of people. And from my experience within the last few years, these are some of the things I've discovered. Now, if this is your first time of coming to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Click on the notifications icon. That's the bell icon beside the subscribe button. So whenever I make a new post like this, you don't get to miss it. I realize this is a very sensitive topic. Most people don't want to talk about it because they are scared that the United States might deny them in case they find something like this online. But I mean, sometimes who cares? You just have to say the truth. Now, the United States Embassy application system is not one of the best in the world, to be sincere. Compared to other countries where they allow you to come and present documents just to prove that you are worthy to get their visa. But for United States, it's totally different. They don't care about your document. They don't care about your application. All they care about is the one-on-one interview. One thing I've realized most of the time is the fact that most of the qualified people are actually rejected, and some of the people that are not even qualified are the ones that get it. So it's based on a lot of things. I've discovered that a lot of factors play in during the interview process. There are two application systems, UK and the US, for example. UK is saying, bring your documents, let's verify. So for someone that is not very eloquent, so your document, your job can actually speak for you. Compared to the United States system, whereby you can be the best in your field, and just because you're not eloquent enough and someone just denies you visa, so because of that. So these are some of the reasons why I feel that system is not perfect and it shouldn't be the best to judge character. So going forward, these are some of the things I've realized over the last couple of years. Number one, you have to learn to actually speak well. You have to learn to be eloquent if you really want to go for the United States application system. Speak well in the sense that you have to be bold, you have to be confident, you have to learn to be eloquent. Number two, your application should be very top notch. Notice, like I said, it is a very competitive process. Don't just put generic stuff on your application. Make it very detailed. That's when anybody that is reviewing your application will know that this is a very serious person. The third one I'll talk about is the travel history. Even though, yeah, it is not a requirement, it is not compulsory. But again, sometimes before you apply to the United States, just apply to other countries, visit other countries, make yourself feel like a tourist. If you have all these visas in your passport, automatically it creates the impression that you are just a tourist coming to spend your money in that country. That way they might also give you the visa. Number four is make sure you have a high quality skill. So this is what I feel sometimes based on your occupation, it impacts on your visa approval. This might not make sense to a lot of people, but for example, if the United States needs a lot of engineers, there's a high chance that they will give you a visa compared to somebody that is a plumber. Even if you decide to stay, they're getting value from your staying in their country. So they won't just give it to somebody that does not have a job. So you can't just say you are jobless at any point in time when you're applying for the United States embassy visa. Make your job look very interesting. Another thing is this: home ties are very important, especially for the United States embassy visa. They want to be sure that you are coming back to your home country. So what are some of the ties? Number one, you have to be able to establish the fact that you have a very high paying job. There's no two way about it. So if your salary is low, there's a chance that, you won't come back if you're visiting their country. Number two, you also have to establish the fact that you're a family person. Even if you're not married, you have to be able to establish the fact that you're so bonded with your family and you won't want to leave them in Nigeria. Another thing is the career ties or business ties. So for example, if you have a business or you have career in Nigeria that proves that you don't have any reason to want to leave to seek better opportunities out there, it also gives you a kind of edge. For example, if you are the owner of an NGO whereby you cater for a lot of children or you cater for a lot of people, have a very strong position in your country, probably like a political position or a chieftaincy title, that ensures the fact that you won't have to leave your country. So these are some of the other things that also helps on the long run. So that is why they made this process very strict. So you have to be able to convince them beyond reasonable doubt that you are coming back to your own country. So this is where many people get it wrong. Irrespective of the kind of visa that you get, except you are applying directly for an immigrant visa, you have to be able to convince the consular beyond reasonable doubt that you are coming back to your own country. Also, you have to be able to state categorically the reason why you are visiting their country and reasons why you'll be coming back to your home country. So if you're able to do this, there's a very high chance of getting their visas. Like I said, it is not a perfect system, and this is the system that is currently in place. So to get this visa, you have to be able to think the way the consular think. You have to be able to think the way the embassy thinks. So that way, you stand a very high chance of getting the visa. So the rejection is never your fault most of the time. It's not because you didn't do well. It is just based on the fact that this system was designed to fail you. So if you find this video useful, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to smash on the like button. Don't forget to click on the notifications icon. That's the bell icon beside the subscribe button. So whenever I make a new post like this, you don't get to miss it. See you next time. Bye.